Hare Krishna, thank you for joining. Let's start with Radha Madhav. Jayo Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Giravardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Giravardhari. Shodanandan Vraj Jana Ranjana, Shodanandan Vraj Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Gyantimirnasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshur Umilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunath Nirtam Sajim Sadhvetam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Dalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranmami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatu Brehascha Kirpa Sindhuvevacha Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Nama Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Ti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasdi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Lagate Grim Yat Kirpatam Mandashi Gurundin Taranam Paramnanda Madham Shistaneshram Hariam Tassat Narayam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Nauttamam Devim Sasvit Vyasam Tato Jamaduriyat Nasta Presha Abduration Nitya Bhavasera Bhakti Nishtaki. Hare Krishna. So we are in verse 24, chapter 11, Krishna returning to Dwarka. And the last time we were discussing how Krishna is impartial and he welcomes everyone according to the relationship and their consciousness. And we were even talking about the prostitutes in Dwarka, how they came to see Krishna or to welcome Krishna as well. So this is like bewildering for people that Krishna is happy to receive the prostitutes of Dwarka and it's all legalized, all acceptable. well, for one, it's legalized because it's part of the system that works for them. There was a lot of people coming, a lot of trade going on, and traders coming there, and there's these facilities were provided for them, first of all. And secondly, these prostitutes, they were actually they were more interested in Krishna's divinity. It's not like what we think. It was they were interested in his divinity. They recognized his divinity even in the profession they were following. So Krishna accepts everyone when they have that right bhav for him. So that was the thing. And this is something up for debate. Different acharyas say different things, but that's the crux of it, that they had bhav for Krishna and his divinity. So let's continue. Verse 24. Rajmagam gate Krishne dvarkayaha kul istriha armayani arurhur vipra tad ikshan mahotsavaha. So Raj Marg is the public roads, gate, while passing over, or gate, while passing over, Krishna, by Lord Krishna, Dvarkayaha, of the city of Dvarka, Kul Istriya, ladies of the respectable families, Armayani, on the palaces, Aruruhu, got up, Vipar of Brahmins, Tat Ikshan, just to look upon him, Maha Utsava, accepted as the greatest festival. So Krishna is returning, and it feels like a great festival. So when Lord Krishna passed over the public roads, all the ladies from the respectable families of Dwarka went up to the roofs of the palaces just to have a look at the Lord. They considered this to be the greatest festival. So to have a look at the Lord is a great festive occasion, undoubtedly, as it was considered by the metropolitan ladies of Dwarka. This is still followed by the devout ladies of India, especially during the days of the Julan and Janam Ashtami ceremonies. The ladies of India still throng up in the greatest number at the temple of the Lord, where his transcendental eternal form is worshipped. The transcendental form of the Lord installed in a temple is not different from the Lord personally. Such a form of the Lord is called Archa Vigraha, or Archa, incarnation, and expanded by the Lord by his internal potency, just to facilitate the devotional service of his innumerable devotees who are in the material world. The material senses cannot perceive the spiritual nature of the Lord, and therefore the Lord accepts the Archa Vigraha, which is apparently made of material elements like earth, wood, and stone, but actually there is no material contamination. So it's interesting how Srila Prabhupada mentions that is expanded by the Lord by his internal potency just to facilitate the devotional service of his innumerable devotees. So it's here that because we cannot see the Lord by our material senses, he manifests himself in these other forms. These items of matter, they're still energies of Krishna, and he manifests himself within those energies of himself. All these material, everything material, he's the source of everything material, everything moving, non-moving, spiritual. He's the source of everything. So he's the source of all these materials that is the Archa Vigraha of. Because the material senses cannot perceive the spiritual nature of the Lord, he accepts the Archa Vigraha. This is very interestingly put. So he is one without a second, and therefore the Almighty Lord can appear in any form without being contaminated by the material conception. Therefore, festivities in the temple of the Lord as held generally are like festivals performed during the manifestive days of the Lord of Dwarka about 5,000 years ago. The authorized Acharyas who know the science perfectly install such temples of the Lord under regulative principles just to offer facilities to the common man. But persons who are less intelligent, without being conversant with the science, mistake this great attempt to be idol worship. So we get people, especially of foreign descent, that they can't understand. We still worship they think we worship idols, and they poke their nose into that to which they have no access. So people can't understand. They think we still living in the dark ages, worshipping idols, and because that's what they did here. So that they can't understand. They think we still worship idols, but there's a difference between an idol and a deity. Therefore, the ladies or men who observe festivals in temples of the Lord just to have a look at the transcendental form are 1,000 times more glorious than those who are non-believers in the transcendental form of the Lord. It appears from the verse that the inhabitants of Dwarka were all owners of big palaces. This indicates the prosperity of the city. The ladies got up on the roofs just to have a look at the procession of the Lord. The ladies did not mix with the crowd on the street, and thus their respectability was perfectly observed. There was no artificial equality with the men. Female respectability is preserved more elegantly by keeping the woman separate from the man. The sexes should not mix unrestrictedly. So amazing how there's a whole chapter devoted to Krishna leaving Hastinapur, then there's a whole chapter devoted to Krishna entering Dwarka, and how much detail has gone into this transportation or transaction here, that and every little detail is given of the people of Hastinapur beforehand, and the prayers, and now of Dwarka. So let's see if we can add something to this. So just like in Hastinapur, the Dwarka ladies went to the roofs to catch a glimpse of Krishna. This is considered the greatest festival. Seeing the Lord in temple is non different to seeing the Lord personally 5,000 years ago. Celebrating the festival in the temple is non different to when Lord was in Dwarka. So this is the interesting thing. So we welcome the Lord when there's a festival, when it's Janmashtami or any other Parents' Day, like we have Mahaprabhu's Parents' Day as well, Nityananda, like that. They're all festivals, aren't they? So we are welcoming the Lord in Dwarka. Importance of having the deities in temple, service rendered to the deities. So we can't serve the Lord directly, so we serve the deities. We can serve the deities in the temple, and the extension of that is the deities in our houses. We serve them there personally. Whether you're qualified, you have to have certain qualification to serve them in the temple, but you don't necessarily need any qualification to serve your deities at home. They're your home deities. So just as the Dwarka residents showed affection to the Lord, we need to cultivate similarly with our Acharya Vigraha form. So they all felt they had some kind of relationship with the Lord accordingly, and we need to build a relationship with our deities. Our relationship attachment with the Lord. So the Lord appears to facilitate our devotional service, so we can serve Him. We can't see the Lord face to face. Therefore, Lord appears in the Acharya Vigraha, so we can see Him through that. And due to our condition, we see the Acharya Vigraha as marble or stone or wood or metal. So it's up to us. Do you want to see Him as something, as material matter? Or do we see Him as something or someone we can have a relationship with and treat Him as the Lord that we can serve? And hopefully, most of us do that. So when we think that it reduces and dampens our relationships with the deities, so if you think they're material, then cuts off the relationship. We commit offenses to the deity. So very important, we have deities that we are prepared to treat them as persons rather than something for decoration purposes. So you see sometimes they're not decorative products or toys. They are there to be worshipped on the altar. The reciprocations reduces, so we can serve him, glorify him. This is not different to being in the spiritual. This is our practice. We are practicing serving the Lord in the spiritual world, because that's where we want to be. Okay, right, we'll move on to the next one if you have time. There's a few more things, but let's move on, see what else we have. Nityam nirikshamananam yadapi dvarka kukasam navitrapayanti hi darshaha shriyo damangam achyutam. So nityam, regularly, always. So niriksha manam, of those who look at him, yat, although, api, in spite of, dvarka okasam, the inhabitants of Dwarka, na, never, vitrapayanti, satisfied, he, exactly, darsh, sight, shriya, beauties, dam, angam, the bodily reservoir, achyutam, the infallible. So the inhabitants of Dwarka were regularly accustomed to look upon the reservoir of all beauty, the infallible Lord, yet they were never satiated. So they were very fortunate to have this facility. When the ladies of the city of Dwarka got up on the roofs of their palaces, they never thought that they had previously many times seen the beautiful body of the infallible Lord. So it's like when we have festivals, we think, oh, we've had so many Janmashtamis, we've had so many other festivals, we've done Govardhan Puja so many times, but it should be a new experience, new rejuvenated experience every time, and it's always auspicious. Doesn't matter how many times you've done it, it's always auspicious. This indicates that they had no satiation in desiring to see the Lord, so we should have no satiation in celebrating. Anything material seen for a number of times ultimately becomes unattractive by the law of satiation. The law of satiation acts materially, but there is no scope for it in the spiritual realm. The word infallible is significant here, because although the Lord has mercifully descended to the earth, he is still infallible. The living entities are fallible because when they come in contact with the material world, they lack their spiritual identity. But the Lord is always spiritual, and thus the body materially obtained becomes subjected to birth, growth, transformation, situation, deterioration, and inhalation. So this is the six changes our bodies go through, as that is a sign that the body is material. Although the soul does not go through these six changes, the body goes through these six changes of taking birth, and it stays for a while, it grows, it reproduces, affects like children, and it deteriorates, and then then we die. This fact is always there. These six changes take place in no matter what kind of body you have. These six changes takes place in us, in animals, insects, like that. The Lord's body is not like that. So the Lord he's completely, just like our soul, he is completely spiritual. He descends as he is, and he is never under the laws of the material modes. His body is the source of everything that be, the reservoir of all beauties beyond our experience. So sometimes we see beautiful children, we see beautiful people, and just think that if they have so much beauty, like the youthness and the liveliness, just think that is a little fragment, very, very small fragment of Krishna's beauty and his youthfulness. So how beautiful Krishna must be, because he's complete no matter what. He's always Puran and or Purna, and so he's always most attractive. You see some attractions around us in material world, and Krishna is the source of all those attractions. So how attractive he must be. So no one therefore is saturated by seeing the transcendental body of the Lord, because there are always manifestations of newer and newer beauties. The transcendental name, form, qualities, entourage, etc. are all spiritual manifestations, and there is no satiation in chanting the holy name of the Lord, because that's Krishna himself. There is no satiation in discussing the qualities of the Lord, and there is no limitation of the entourage of the Lord. He is the source of all and is limitless. So the soul, Krishna, is always looking more and more beautiful, and get more and more bliss. It's not like the material world that slowly the infatuation that we have slowly dies down. No, it actually increases more and more and more. This is the difference between spiritual and material. So the residents of Dwarka had seen the Lord so many times, but every time they felt that they were seeing something for the very first time. This is the nature of Krishna's beauty, ever fresh. In the material world, we are always looking for something new and fresh, and we easily get saturated with material things, and then they need something else. To give an example, we have these Bollywood actors, we're watching them for years, and now then eventually we get fed up with them. We're saying, look, seen enough of them, need something new, something fresh to come on the scene. Then people, show interest, because although there was so much interest in them when they first arrived on the scene, but then that freshness dies down, and that infatuation dies down as well, and we're always looking for something new. So it's like that. We always want to change. In fact, in this world, we're always looking for change. We cannot have the same again and again. Even the best foods, how many times you can eat, you need to have a change in that as well. And this is like sometimes a lot of businesses thrive on that. A lot of restaurants may thrive on that, because you might have like a golden mile of restaurants, and you're thinking, well, why they need so many restaurants? But people want to try something different. They'll try even the menu. There's so many things in one restaurant, so many things on the menu, because you might get fed up. Although some people are exception like me, want the same thing again and again. But most people think, okay, I've tried this, now I'll try this as well. They want something different, like that. Most people are like that. They want to change. They have something, try something else. But with Krishna, it's not like that, because he always feels like something else, something even better. So in the material world, we're always looking for something new and fresh. We usually get saturated, we feel things that need something else. So whenever we experience any material consideration, for example, we are chanting, we feel tired. We are hearing about Krishna and we feel some boredom, for example. We are hearing Kirtan and there is no interest. We might be sitting there yawning. This is not the fault of the process. So there's nothing wrong with the chanting and the katha. If we are feeling bored, then it's not fault of the process. This is the fault of the practitioner. The fault is in us. If we are not receiving it properly, then the problem is with us, not with Krishna's name and glories. As practitioners, we should understand that there is a vast difference between matter and spirit. Therefore, a living entity who is living in matter, coming to the spirit will feel such obstacles. So when we just start, it will feel like this. There is difference in a practitioner in the modes, coming out of the modes and transcending the modes. As one progresses, not only does one have enthusiasm, but it begins to grow more and more. So when we just start into Krishna consciousness, we might find it boring at first. We might find talking about Bhagavatam boring at first, because our interests and attachments lie somewhere else. We are in that, we're in mode of passion, some maybe in mode of ignorance. Really, to appreciate this, we have to be in the mode of goodness, where we want to acquire knowledge, we want to understand, and you slowly find the first symptom is that our attachments with material energy, that they start breaking. We become detached from many material things, and we show more interest in the spiritual katha and kirtan. It's natural. This is the first symptom that happens. You get more interested in this than the material realm. Excuse me. Okay. So we'll have a look at 26. Shriyo nivaso yasyoraha pan patram mukham drisham bhavo loka palanam saranganam pada bhujam. Shriya of the goddess of fortune, nivasa residential place, yasya one whose, uraha chest, pan patram the drinking pot, mukham face, drisham of eyes, bhava the arms, lok palanam of the administrative demigods, saranganam of the devotees who talk and sing of the essence or substance, pad ambujam the lotus feet. So the Lord's chest is the abode of the goddess of fortune. His moon-like face is the drinking vessel for eyes, which hanker after all that is beautiful. His arms are the resting place for the administrative demigods, and his lotus feet are the refuge of pure devotees who never talk or sing of any subject except his lordship. So there are different classes of human beings, all seeking different enjoyments from different objects. There are persons who are seeking after the favor of the gods of fortune, and for them in Vedic literature give information that the Lord is always served with all reverence by thousands and thousands of goddesses of fortune at the Chintamani Dham, the transcendental abode of the Lord, where the trees are all desire trees and the buildings are made of touchstone. The Lord Govinda is engaged there in herding the Surabhi cows as his natural occupation. These goddesses of fortune can be automatically seen if we are attracted by the bodily features of the Lord. The impersonalists cannot observe such goddesses of fortune because of their dry speculative habit, and those who are artists overtaken by the beautiful creation should better see to the beautiful face of the Lord for complete satisfaction. The face of the Lord is the embodiment of beauty. What they call beautiful nature is but his smile. And what they call the sweet song of the birds are but specimens of the whispering voice of the Lord. So anything beautiful is the essence of the Lord. It all comes from him. There are administrative demigods in charge of departmental service of cosmetic management. There are tiny administrative gods in the state service. They are always afraid of other competitors, but if they take shelter of the arms of the Lord can protect them always from the attacks of enemies. So if they were really pure devotees, they won't be worried because they think Krishna will protect us like a pure devotee thinks. A faithful servant of the Lord engaged in the service of administration is the ideal executive head and can well protect the interests of the people in general. Other so-called administrators are symbols of anachronisms, leading to the acute distress of the people who are governed by them. The administrators can remain safely under protection of the arms of the Lord. The essence of everything is the Supreme Lord. He is called the Saram. And those who sing and talk about him are called the Sarangas, or the pure devotees. The pure devotees are always hankering after the lotus feet of the Lord. The lotus has a kind of honey which is transcendently relished by the devotees. They are like the bees who are always after the honey. Srila Rupa Goswami, the great devotee Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, has sung a song about this lotus honey, comparing himself to the bee. O my Lord Krishna, I beg to offer my prayers unto you. My mind is like the bee, is after some honey. Kindly, therefore, give me bee mind a place at your lotus feet, which are the resources for all transcendental honey. I know that even big demigods like Brahma do not see the rays of the nails of your lotus feet, even though they are engaged in deep meditation for years. Excuse me. For years, still, O infallible one, my ambition is such, for you are very merciful to your surrendered devotees. O Madhav, I know also that I have no genuine devotion for the service of your lotus feet, but because your lordship is inconceivably powerful, you can do what is impossible to be done. Your lotus feet can deride even the nectar of the heavenly kingdom, and therefore I am very much attracted by them. O Supreme Eternal, please therefore let my mind be fixed at your lotus feet so that eternally I may be able to relish the taste of your transcendental service. The devotees are satisfied with being placed at the lotus feet of the Lord and have no ambition to see his all beautiful face or aspire for the protection of the strong arms of the Lord. They are humble by nature, and the Lord is always leaning towards such humble devotees. So, because you already know, the devotees who are satisfied with the being placed at the lotus feet of the Lord have no ambition, because they will get everything anyway, right? No ambition to see his all beautiful face or aspire for the protection of. When you surrender to Krishna, everything is there, liberation is there, all the facilities are there. They don't come separate from Krishna, everything is part of Krishna. So let's see what we have. So it's not that God takes the position of a cowherd boy or is acting as a cowherd boy. Krishna's occupation is that of a cowherd boy, as mentioned earlier, herding Surpi cows in his natural position. He expands as God, as Vishnu. His natural position is Krishna in Vrindavan. This is how we worship Krishna in Vrindavan. That's his natural position. That is the original Krishna. Conditional life, everyone wants to enjoy in different ways. There are those who want money, or we want like blessings of goddess of fortune, but we want Lakshmi, but we don't want Narayan. This is one of the issues that we have in this world. People after wealth, but without Narayan. But Lakshmi Lakshmi is always with the Narayan. So unless you accept Narayan, you cannot, the Lakshmi will just bewilder you. Those who want protection of the Lord with strong arms, those who want to see the beauty of the creation, the pure devotees of the Lord are only interested in the lotus feet of the Lord like bees after honey. Yeah, so there's a bee-like devotee, bee-like mind, begging to be at the lotus feet of the Lord. They don't care for protection of any kind or any kind of beauty. What does it mean to be at the lotus feet of the Lord? Means always carrying out the lotus instructions of the Lord. And being at the lotus feet of the serving the lotus feet of the Lord is following his instructions and also following the instructions of his devotees, because they are always at the at the lotus feet of the Lord. So you follow their instructions. Like Pad Sevana, we cannot physically serve Krishna at his lotus feet like Lakshmi can, but we can serve those people that are at his lotus feet. We can go to the dhams where the Lord's lotus feet were once, like Vrindavan, were there, where he placed his feet. We can go to the dham to serve his feet because Tulsi is there at his feet. The pure devotees are at his feet. We can serve them. So as devotees also, although there is no harm, still we are not interested in enjoying beauty of the Lord, opulence of the Lord, enjoying the protection of the Lord. We are simply interested in serving. That's all we want to do. This attitude of service is what we need to master. So no, we don't do things for our satisfaction or sense gratification. What we do is serve. We should have the serving mood. Everything else comes with it. But our intention should be to serve. In the spiritual world, everyone just wants to serve as a servant of the servant. That is what pleases Krishna. So that should be the attitude. And if the attitude is there, then Krishna is happy. The Father gives everything, provided that that you have the right attitude. Everything is there. Whatever Father is enjoying, the children are also enjoying. Whatever the Master is enjoying, the servant is also enjoying those facilities. So it's just simple as that. So thank you so much. We'll have a little discussion. Hare Krishna. And okay, let's start with Hina Mataji and then Kiran Prabhu, please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Some very nice points covered in these verses. The key ones for me was around how the Lord appears to us in numerous ways, as we know through his name, his lila, his form, and the initial verses focus very much on the Ujja Vigraha form. Now that might be made out of wood, metal, or whatever material, but in reality, it's actually no different to the Lord as his spiritual form when he accepts worship through the Ujja Vigraha form. So it's very much about training ourselves to accept and adopt this understanding. And the second point for me was around how there's a very nice description around how pure devotees are compared to bees, always in deep meditation on the Lord's lotus feet, being in a very much a surrendered mood and not desiring anything else. Which is just very beautiful. And even that in itself, for me, just to meditate on that, it's very nice, to be honest. It's a couple of sentences that cover that off very nicely. So, yeah, those for me were the key things. So, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Kim Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everybody. I think for me, always many points that arise from just a few verses. The divinity of Krishna that we have been able to grace is the most elevated thing in our lives. Everything else is mundane, everything is insignificant. Getting the grace of this knowledge, this philosophy, is the most powerful wealth that we have. And yes, Krishna resides in Vrindavan and in the upper planets, Goloka, Vrindavan. He also resides in the Bhagavatam, in the Gita and the Chaitanya Chamrita. And his words are given life by such sages and such powerful people like Srila Prabhupada. The life exists in the murtis, in the brass, the metal, the wood. The pran is given by very deep Vedic mantras which allow the divine to reside within those murtis. And hence it's not just idol worshipping, It is recognizing that divinity is in our hearts and in our homes, and that we have that personal relationship that we're building on a daily basis. The more we interact with our deities, we're building a relationship. It's a personal relationship. The personal relationship develops attraction. The more we worship, the more we mention Krishna's name, the attraction builds up. And that becomes an acceptance that Krishna is a part of our daily accepted part of our lives. And hence we have surrendered to the attraction and to the fact that he is present and manifests in our lives on a daily basis. This is a preparation, not just for the here and now, but for the spiritual world. This is a practice of refining our spiritual progress, because when we get to that place that we are preparing for, that we can hit the ground running. This is the practice for residing in Vrindavan in the spiritual Dham. And all the festivals we engage in shouldn't be just a festival. They should be festivals which are invigorating, rejuvenating, and each festival should be seen as, wow, better than the year before. It gets better and better, and the ecstasy and the enlightenment and the joy is palpable. We have to become active, not complacent. Complacency is the tool of the devil. We have to rise above complacency and become fresh daily in our spiritual interaction with divinity. Every day should be a new experience, new relationship, a new appetite that builds up to our relationship with the divine. This growth has to be exponential, not linear, not on a downward curve, but it has to be on an exponential curve. Just like when India are playing cricket, their curve or their thing is better than the next team. All beauty is in Krishna. Radha doesn't reside without Krishna. And hence Lakshmi on its own is not sufficient. We have to recognize that Lakshmi and Narayan come together. And so these are dual relationships that we are looking at. Radha is so significant, as is Lakshmi. And hence our relationship. There's me, you, and I, but there's also Krishna. And those all have to become intertwined. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah. I mean, just recalling from what we were discussing, that we tend to consider Bhakti or Krishna or temples or the festivals, Krishna Katha, Kirtan. When we just come into it at the beginning, because we can't find any taste in it, we consider it as something material, thinking, oh, this is just like, whatever we done before, and we didn't find anything interesting. So, because we're seeing from material point of view, we don't find any interest. But it's like something very tasty, but yet because we have problem with our digestion or our tongue, we can't taste it. We blame the item, saying, oh, it's not made properly, it's not cooked properly, it hasn't got the right spices or whatever. But the problem was, with us, with the tongue, the taste buds, the problem was there, but we blame the item. So Krishna saying like that, or Prabhupada is explaining that the problem is not in the Krishna Katha or the Kirtan. We have to work on ourselves. We have to need some purification, need some detachment, and also use our intelligence that this is spiritual, it's not material, and there's a taste there. We just have to get ourselves organized to enjoy that taste. We can savor that taste. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay, Ajay Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
These verses kind of explain the importance of, actually, the blessings of having understanding of the Bhagavan form of the Lord. As in, if when we understand the Lord's opulences, qualities, that they're ever expanding, it's ever blissful, we automatically get the appreciation for the Paramatma and the Brahman form of the Lord as well. You automatically get everything in one. The Lord is unlimited, and it's just our understanding that tends to be limited. We are very blessed in that sense, because typically most religions don't go past what we, in one sense, is the Brahman form. They tend to see the Lord as impersonal at best. And you miss out on so much. I mean, just these verses alone, you go to Bhagavad-Gita, there's so much detail, there's so much to appreciate, not appreciate, to enjoy. And then even within our own sampradaya as such, just the potential for the rasa, the mellows there. There is just incredible what is there, just to be had. Just if you only takes a bit of endeavor there, and you can have such a strong relationship with the Lord, and you see that with the great devotees, they are completely surrendered, because they're having the nectar of such this shastra, this devotion. It is on another level. It is incredible, really. And that's what we also got to remember, that we are very blessed in that sense. We have to there's no reason to take it for granted, because once you get into it, it is just incredible. It's just not you may feel lazy sometimes, but that's just normal tendency at times. You just tend to be relaxed, but when you just start reading, start chanting, and everything kind of just take care of itself. The Bhagwan is, there's no limitation. It's not like a yogi meditation where it's very difficult to do, or it's you're just trying to force yourself. You actually start reading the pastimes of the Lord, you realize how much joy there is, not only for those that were directly involved in the pastime, but for yourself as well, because you get involved as well. It's like you're there with the Lord, whatever the pastime may be, whether it be Lord's come back to Dwarka, or he's in Vrindavan. Like Srila Prabhupada used to make sure that everybody sing Radha Madhava at the start to get that mood of Vrindavan going. And that's the beauty of it. You can be there with the Lord wherever you are in the world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yes, and all these acharyas, who have sang these songs, whether it's Bhaktivinoda Thakur or Narottam Das, they take us into the pastimes, or their advice, or their realizations are in the songs of the acharyas, and they really take us. This is why we stick to the acharya songs, because we want their mood, or there might be different moods, and they mean well, but mood might be different, and it just confuses things. With do we go listen to the realization and the moods of the recommended acharyas, and they can really teach us a lot of things if we look at the meanings of those songs that they sing. So amazing. And the other point, like you're saying, that Krishna is unlimited, we are limited, so we can hear only for so long, we can read for only so long. It's just, I guess we have to appreciate the limitations of this Kali Yuga body as well. But whatever time we spend, we should not be getting bored. We should be relishing and cherishing whatever we are reading or hearing. Um, that's the main thing. We have our own capacity, and we can build that capacity with time, especially for hearing. We can build it slowly, but whatever capacity we have, I should be like, wow, really, really blown away from what I've heard just now. And that's the beauty of Krishna Katha. Thank you. Radharani, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. My pranams to all of you. Yes, the people of Dwarka are enjoying welcoming Krishna, and how the citizens, they are seeing how the ladies stood on the balconies. That was the way before. And when we see, the festival celebration in India still, and even in other parts of the world, how it is, people stand on their the top of their houses and just see the processions going, the festivals being celebrated. And the Prabhupada talks about men and women kept separate, and this is still the way in most of the temples, especially in Iskcon we have seen, and in the traditional temples, ladies sit on one side and men sit on one side. And the deity worship has been highlighted because we serve God as a person. We don't serve God as impersonal. It's not just something like the people who are into impersonalism, who just think that God is just the light coming from the God, the Brahma Jyoti, the Brahman. But because we understand that God has got a form, He's got qualities, He's got pastimes, and so we appreciate God in the form of a deity, and that deity is present in our homes. We practice. This is our practice in this life, practicing the deity worship, serving God through the deity worship in this life. And on the festival, it's a grand occasion. It takes a different meaning. We all come together to celebrate. For example, now at the moment, Navratri are going on. There is a Ram Leela going on, and soon we'll have Durga Puja in a couple of days. Then the Shera, and then soon we'll have Diwali. So these festivals, they actually are showing the pastimes which we are reading in Bhagavatam or Ramayana, or Mahabharata. They are enacted. They come alive in front of us, these leelas in these festivals. And God is always fresh. For example, you just go and open your temple in the morning, see your deities, see your the murtis, the Archa Vigrahas. They look fresh. And when we see at our photos of past even few years, we think, oh, we have changed so much. So Lord is always fresh, and Lord is like this always. And how beautifully Prabhupada describes that the smile of Lord is the nature around us. So Lord is present around us as well. They say mountains are the bones of the Lord, and the trees are the hairs of the Lord. Sun and moon are the eyes of the Lord. So we can relate to Lord in every little thing around us all the time. So there's no reason to be becoming bored in bhakti. Bhakti comes in so many forms. We can do some reading, we can listen to the bhajan, we can do the chanting, we can do so many things, so many activities in one single day. And we can write, we can paint, we can draw, we can do so many things. There's because these are all the skills of Lord. This is how Krishna has designed the situation for us, that somehow we will be able to remember Lord. When we see something beautiful, say, oh, so beautiful. And then definitely it comes into everyone's mind some or other time, that how beautiful must be the creator who has created this thing. And this is just in material world, never mind in spiritual world. In spiritual world, they say the beauty multiplies thousand times what you see here. So if we get besotted by things around us in the material world, then we should remind ourselves that this is nothing. This is all temporary. but still it attracts us. So the permanent, the spiritual world, how beautiful and how satisfying it will be to our soul. And the pure devotees, they always sing about the Lord. They were described as the Saragas, and the Lord is the Saram. He's the essence of everything. And Lord's Dham is called the Chintamani Dham. It's perfect. Nothing depletes there. Everything is there. And there is, it's more beautiful than anything we can ever imagine. Because the Lord, who is so beautiful, who has created everything around us, who is the biggest and who is the smallest, he can manifest himself to be the biggest of the biggest and the smallest of the smallest. So these verses are actually describing the relationships between us and the Lord, between the divinity and us, the jivas. And this pull is there. In the beginning, the pull is not there, but slowly, as we understand, as we read, and as we associate, everything becomes clear to us, and we are able to appreciate it in our life. And this is how bhakti grows and grows in our lives. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your input, and we'll catch up again on Wednesday and continue this katha. So, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hare
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.